Training devices, Band-Aids or benefits? Hey guys, I'm Dave Kurlander, animal behavior specialist and researcher and host of the Pack Animal podcast. And today we're going to talk about 5 commonly used devices when it comes to training. And I'm going to give you my opinion on them. The first one I want to talk today about is harnesses. There's a common misconception that collars actually cause damage to the dog's neck. So that's why the harnesses come into play. A harness doesn't really provide a very specific form of correction that's natural. Harnesses do make situations better by creating like an offset pressure or a little bit of a compression on the back with some of the martingale style harnesses. These harnesses are solving the surface problem, but it's not getting to the root of the behavior. Why is your dog pulling you? The harness itself is what's stopping your dog from pulling you. So where it does come in to be very beneficial in some aspects, you have to consider that the solution lies in the behavior, not within the device. So my opinion when it comes to harnesses is that while they are very useful in some aspects, they're not coming to the solution. So I typically opt out of harnesses unless there's a specific need. Number 2 on this list is collars. There is a common misconception that collars do harm the dog's trachea as they're pulling you. However, we have to stop and ask ourselves, is the collar damaging the dog's trachea? Is the collar the one that's making your dog not breathe? Or is it him pulling? So we have to address the problem, which is pulling. But a collar does provide a natural form of communication, which is usually around the neck. The preferred collars that I like to use are corrective collars like martingale collars, which have a slight level of compression around them. Now the device is called a martingale, not a choke collar, because the action of what it's doing is not choking your dog, it's applying gentle pressure, much like mama would give to her puppies. Just a gentle compression from the D loop that's on there, or that secondary loop that's on there. So it'll feel more of like a quick, sharp compression, and that has a lot to do with technique and style by gently, loose leash, popping the leash just enough to give a tap on the shoulder. So in my opinion, the martingale collar, or any collar for that matter, is basically going to be your appropriate form of correction, which is going to lead me into number 3. We were referring to in number 2, collars, but then you go a little bit above and beyond and you start venturing into pinch collars or prong collars. Now to me personally, that's the do it or I hurt you method. There happens to be teeth there, yes, I agree. But when mama corrects her puppy, she's not using the application of pain or fear. She's actually encouraging her dog by building him up physically and mentally by applying pressure for her corrections. You have to keep in mind that dogs are stoic by nature, whereas some dogs can really tolerate the force of a prong collar and may even appear to be kind of happy when you do pop that lead, because I have heard that several times from people, especially trainers. What they're doing is they're responding in a very submissive way to get you to stop applying this form of correction. So in my opinion, prong collars are inappropriate, and they are definitely no way of getting a healthy or developing a healthy relationship with your dog. Just ask yourself, would you do this to your children? Number 4, leashes. Nothing can substitute a good lightweight leash. I recommend an 8 to 10 foot lead. Anything above that tends to be too cumbersome for training. A nice lightweight lead will give you enough ability to keep that leash loose to develop a healthy proximity for following. When you provide a correction, it could be a really nice way of kind of extending your hand out to tap your dog on the shoulder. Now there are some leashes out there like flexi leads, which are fantastic. Gives your dog a nice range of anywhere between 15 to 30 feet. However, flexi leads are really meant for dogs that already have a level of training. There's a constant tension on that leash, which shows a constant presence to the leash, which doesn't give your dog that sense of being off lead. So I love flexis. I use them on my dogs, but I don't use them for training. Number 5, remote collars. When we refer to remote collars, we mean e-collars and GPS collars. Now, I know I discussed this in greater detail on how to condition in a prior episode, but the use of e-collars can provide your dog freedom to range, sometimes up to a half a mile away. The GPS collar gives you a sense of security and safety that you at least know where your dog is. When conditioned properly and used properly with the correct intention, these can be so rewarding and positive. In fact, it can give you a level of consistency that you cannot get with a leash and a collar. So everybody's got their opinions on what devices they like to use and the outcome of the device. So you've heard my opinion, and I would love to hear yours. So please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.